this is a quick DIY on a boho chair that I started a while back but finally finished. So we're going to use some paint and some decoupage paper, and this paper that I'm using is called Fall Projects, and I'm going to cut it in half, and I just want enough paper for the back of the chair really, and where your shoulders would go. So I'm going to cut it so that it fits that. I chose this paper because I like the orange and the blue and the browns in it, and it reminds me of a boho kind of look. The next thing we did before putting on the paper was paint the chair, and I used Firestarter Orange. I like that color. I felt like this was going to pick up the color in the paper, and I don't know, I feel like the orange and the blue is it's a boho color, at least to me. Anyways. So once the chair was painted and I had my paper cut out, I put some Mod Podge on the back of the chair, and this is what we use when we use decoupage paper. Mod Podge is a sealant as well as glue, and so anyways, I eyeballed the paper when I cut it. I didn't really measure, and now it's just a matter of arranging it how I think it's going to look right. So don't worry about the paper that's hanging and that's extra, because we will do something about that, I promise. So the next thing is to put a cushion on this chair, and I chose this velvety material that's kind of like a bohemian blue, much like the color of the paint that we sell and I am going to use, and put that on the chair nice and soft. And the next thing is to remember those edges, the paper that was overhanging and overlapping. The way we're going to get that off is by gently sanding the edges, and it's okay if it looks a little rough. We want the chair, or I want the chair, to look like it's an old chair. It's not anything new. Also, I am going to sand where I didn't put any paper and have some of that wood coming through. As I said, I want it to look like an old bohemian chair. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to use this new product that I have. It's called Wood You Bend. It is wood that you can't bend until you heat it up with the heat gun. Once you do that, it's completely bendable and moldable, and you can make it go around a piece of furniture. Here on this chair, I needed to heat it up because the back of the chair is not completely flat, so I did need to heat it up. I do put these molds on. I glue them with wood glue. That is the recommendation, and that works just fine. It doesn't come off. I did put some of this painter's tape just to make sure it got on there nice and good, and I just can't wait for you to see what this looks like when it's all done. So one of the things that I wanted to add to this chair was these little pom-poms with the colors that's in the seat and in the paper itself, the orange and the blues and the browns and all of that. So I made sure to I started out on one end and went all the way around. I cut when I got to the other end, and I'm using a glue that is an all-purpose glue. It glues fabric and wood too, but I feel like I use the wood glue for the wood and this glue for all of my other things that I need to glue. It's multi-grip. There you go. So and it works really good. It dries quickly, and my little pom-poms didn't fall out. So now it's time to take the tape off. I let this dry overnight, and we're gonna paint the would you bend and give that some color. So we're gonna add a little bit of, you guessed it, bohemian blue from the DIY paint line. That is also in the color of the decoupage paper. And then I will add little bits of other color in there as well. And really, this is about just blending. Of course, I added some more of the orange and just smeared it, and just a little bit of blending. You can actually do any color you want. So after adding the boho blue and the orange and all the other colors, I did decide that I wanted to give this a little bit of bling. Since it is a chair for a boho queen, I added a little bit of copper patina to the chair, and I just used my finger for that and just kind of put in the nooks and crannies. I think it made all the difference. The very last step was just to seal it with chalk paint, and I used dark DIY chalk paint to give it that old look. And that's pretty much it.